All right, friends of the show, welcome back. Episode 36. Sounds a little different. I'm opening up. Cole is not able to join us tonight. He actually got signed, but
Come on,
completely.
Paddy. Come on, Paddy. Rocking that Manscaped shirt. You don't fool me.
No, Swider is here. We just wrapped up a great interview with his longtime friend. I got the vibe that you guys literally knew each other. Like you guys are sandbox boys, you and David Duke Jr. So great conversation with him.
I mean, being from Rhode Island, there's not a lot of people in Rhode Island as known by, especially this show, right? But yeah, me and David, we go back to probably around sixth grade. We played against each other, Rhode Island Hawks versus Providence United. Just going back in the day, obviously playing against him and seeing him develop just to where he is now has just been amazing. So we played against each other in high school, played against each other in college, and obviously in the NBA now. So just always root for guys who are from Rhode Island. There's not a lot of us, and it's really cool to be able to play against David now and obviously see where he's at and all the hard work that he's done to get to this point. So really great interview with him. Really looking forward to you guys to listening to that interview.
I said this before we started the interview, but I saw him play against Buddy against the Motor City Crews, and he did not belong in the G League at all. He's quite the player. So athletic. He's like NBA body. Just doesn't belong down there. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, no. He played a lot his first year in the NBA, and then this past year, I mean, just with the Nets and the constant changing of the roster and everything like that, he didn't really get that much of an opportunity. But when he went down to the G League, he showed that he did not belong there. Was an all-star in the G League, and obviously just put his name on the map in terms of a team that he could possibly go to. If that's the Nets, if that's another team, he's gonna have some opportunities coming up this year, and I know he's excited for that.
Definitely. But yeah, we're stacking good episodes here. Last week, Terrence Mann, if you haven't yet, go back, listen to the Terrence episode. Make sure you download it along with listening. We got to hit our quota for BlueWire, or else they're gonna cancel us, Swatter. They're gonna cancel the pod. So, but since we last spoke, the most boring NBA Finals in the history of basketball is wrapped up. Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat in 5. I guess close personal friend Bruce Brown now has a ring, so he has that over you. But I don't know. What'd you think of the series overall?
I mean, it was just clear throughout the whole entire series that Denver was a better team. It looked like Miami was tired. And yeah, I don't think there's a lot really to say about the finals. I think it was very one-sided, it seemed like, even though there were some good games in the finals. I think what everyone's waiting for now is just John Morant's suspension. So I guess we'll get those.
Wait, do you have a prediction there?
I've been hearing anywhere from 30 games to 50 games. So I
really
would say probably
30 minimum.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Yeah.
No way, dude. Silver saying I don't want to take away from the finals, so we're gonna announce it after the series. Like that just made it way worse.
Did you see Mike Malone even like talking crap a little bit? He was like,
he talks a lot.
He's like, I might retire.
Oh yeah, I saw that quote.
Yeah,
it was kind of funny, honestly. I know that's your boy, I know that's your teammate, but I thought it was a pretty good line.
Yeah, no, Mike Malone, obviously, he takes the disrespect and wears it on his forehead. So,
yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. He panders a little bit, like getting on the mic right after they won. He's like, the best one's going to be the next one or whatever it is. Like, all right, man,
yeah,
just take this victory lap.
Hey, what about his chain today during the
Yeah,
parade?
he was loaded. Did you see the videos of him?
Brucey B's coming back. We're running it back.
He was screaming. That actually looked like a way more fun parade than I expected out of that group. Mainly because Jokic was like he dropped the whole like I don't care about this anymore bit and just like seemed to actually enjoy the day.
No, he did. He did enjoy it. And my boy Christian Brown enjoyed the day immensely.
Did he?
He had the day of his life. Yeah.
Was he hammered too?
Oh, if you look at overtime, you look at something like these other
missed
Instagram pages, he was going insane. So shout out CB, you deserve it, bro.
Rightfully so. Can you explain the backstory there? I don't know if we've touched on that, but right now is a more relevant time than ever to explain your relationship with him, Christian Brown.
Yeah, Chris. So it's actually pronounced Brown.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
yeah.
I knew that.
Christian Brown, me and him are part of the same agency. We're represented by two separate like mini agents, but Bill Duffy is our agent. Bill Duffy and Associates is BDA. Now WME Sports is our agency. So me and him spent time together in Santa Barbara during pre-draft last year. We were actually roommates during that time. So yeah, me and CB and I spent a lot of time together, and it was fun to be with him during that time, see him work.
He had a hell of a finals. Like, he was just going at Butler whenever he was guarding.
It's crazy. Like, he's not really known as a scorer, but he has like explosive scoring a little bit, right? Like, he's one of those players that we kind of talk about with Bruce a little bit. It's like, or we talked about with Terrence a little bit. Like, they won't guard him in certain possessions, and he totally made them like. He took advantage of that defense completely, and then he also like plays so well with Jokic. He'll get a back cut. He'll get an offensive rebound, lay it up. Like, he just makes winning plays. So
yeah, I was texting you about him, and you were saying he just knows his game so well. Like, he never tries to do too much. He knows exactly what he's out there for. And yeah, towards the end of the series, it was like they literally had 7 guys who should have probably been on the court at all times. Like, they had like almost like a too many guys problem.
And then Jeff Green like just hits timely shots too. So it's like those 8 that they had was it was a big time 8, and obviously, and like it just shows you how much team basketball wins at the end of the day with the way they play, and how selfless Jokic was in that finals. Just, I mean, ultimately the best team won this year, and I don't think it's really up for debate.
Right, it was kind of anticlimactic, but I don't know. You can't go back and do the revisionist history thing of like, oh, they played an 8 seed and a 7 seed, because in every series except for the Heat and the Wolves, it was like they were like even odds. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of thought the Suns were going to beat them. I also thought you guys were going to beat them. So
yeah, for sure.
It is kind of funny they ended up playing like the lowest combined seeding ever, but you can't really like go back and say that.
Especially when you beat LeBron and AD, you beat KD and Devin Booker.
Right.
You beat Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry and Bam Adebayo. Like, if you think about like all those teams, even Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, like, they beat really good duos and really good teams who had injury problems, who dealt with this different things throughout their season that put them in those positions. Like, all those teams the year before had made it to the playoffs, right? Besides the Lakers, but then you have LeBron and AD. So I don't buy into that of like they play the lowest possible seeds ever. Like, I don't really buy into that. I think like let's say we lost to the Warriors and they had to play Steph and Draymond and Clay, and that's a 6 seed. Like, they would be saying the same thing. So
yeah, it's not a typical 6 or 7 seed.
No.
How about Pat saying he's going to change they're going to look back at me, change the game of basketball?
No comment, man.
Hysterical quote.
He's a big man who shoots threes, and I think we've seen that, right?
Yeah.
But
they might say that about me, about podcasting. I look back and I changed podcasting.
Some people will say that, and then you'll appreciate those people.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Nuggets finals. Congratulations to Denver. Swider, you're back in LA now? No? Last time we talked, you were back home. How's the off season getting underway in LA? Yeah, South Bay Lakers loves posting you and Scotty, by the way.
I mean, the two-way guys. How can you not show some love to the two-way guys? But yeah, no. Shout out South Bay Lakers. Have treated me well the whole entire year. Always post some great content. They actually got voted the #1 content team in the G League, which
I would extend that to the NBA.
Yeah.
I might just have a higher alert on it because I'm like looking for posts of you at all times. But they post like so consistently.
Yeah, no, they're great. But yeah, no, overall, just gotten back here, kind of got my feet wet. Had my trainer Anthony Tingley come out here with me the first like week to kind of get me back acclimated, to keep on doing the things that we were doing when I was back at home. So it's been a really good time back out here. Been able to work with my position coach Jordan, who we talk about in the podcast with David. He was in Brooklyn with David, and
right.
Been back at work with him. I think I've been sharpening a lot of my tools and getting a lot better. So I'm excited, man. Excited to kind of. It's such a different off season than it was last year, because last year I was flying around, going to these team workouts and seeing these guys come in. like to our gym and kind of go through that process again. I've seen probably 5 or 6 guys that I know throughout playing against them in high school, college, AAU. Like I've played against all these guys who are coming to the gym. So it's been cool to kind of like reflect on that process, but not have to be in it. Not have
Yeah,
to be
how
in that
many?
pre-draft process.
So what, you have like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before summer league?
Yeah, so about 3 weeks till summer league. About 2.5 weeks till we start doing like the summer league
But
practices.
yeah, like how soon after the draft is the summer league roster finalized?
It'll probably be finalized the day after the draft. So we'll know all the guys who are going to be on the team. I know a lot of guys who are at least on our G League team, like they know what teams are going to play summer league with. So it's just based on the rookies filling out the rest of the summer league roster.
That makes sense. Swider, summer league locker room, a lot of sweat going around, a lot of hygiene issues, a lot of smelling bad. You know what you can
I
use
know
for
where this is
that?
going. I know where this is going.
Our main supporter,
Yep.
Manscaped.
Bang.
So, like every week, support for the Cole Swider Show this week is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. That's a bar. I got a lot of great feedback on that last week. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. We are offering 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SWIDER. That is capital SWIDER at manscaped.com. The other disclaimer that I could put out, I have a shirt on right now. I also wore the boxer briefs last week to the Belmont Stakes. Very long day. Wearing some Lulu slacks, wearing a button down. It's not the most. It's a little stuffy. It's pretty hot out. Had
Yeah.
some adult beverages. I was comfortable all day. No sweat issues down there. I was comfortable. So yeah, I can't recommend the product highly enough. And just like last week, our math is correct, Swider. 8 million men worldwide. Was that equal?
16 million balls
Yes, sir.
that are, and if you were with Manscaped, those things will be taken care of. Obviously, my experience with Manscaped's been unbelievable so far. Used the product twice. I pride myself now in being clean
It's
and
great.
efficient.
It's a confidence boost right off the bat.
It is a confidence boost, and for our, let's just say, for our audience, I think there's not a more perfect company to sponsor us, right? We hit that 21 to 30-year-old man, even the older men who want to stay clean for the significant other.
Right.
I think that's a great thing. But get 20% off of free shipping with the code SWIDER. Like Paddy said, capital SWIDER at manscaped.com. That's 20% off of free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code SWIDER again, capital SWIDER. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Manscaped, great partner of ours, and really excited with the opportunity they've given us,
the
partnership to take care of yourself, not only with the razors, but with all the other really nice products that they have.
Swider, before we kick it to David, we were talking a little bit before. Speaking of balls, little white balls flying around LA right now. There's rumors of you going to the US Open. Is that true?
So one of my teammates, we talk about a lot, Scottie Pippen Jr., fantastic basketball player, obviously.
Episode 4, check it out.
Yeah, maestro in the pick and roll, whatever. He actually lives right across from LA Country Club, right in Beverly Hills. So I think the plan is that he said he's charging people to go up there and kind of get a box view of the live action. So plan on going over there and at least getting the box view version of it. It might cost me a little bit, but I think it's worth it.
It's worth it, brother. I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. This is Thursday night, 9:47 Eastern. There's some numbers. Rory's at 6 under, DJ 7 under, Fowler and Xander still 8 under. So I would highly recommend. You haven't played there, have you?
No, I wish. Big Pip has been telling me that he would take me out there, but we haven't.
Oh, you got to hold to that.
Yeah, we haven't locked on a date yet.
That's also sweet that you just called Scottie Pippen Big Pip. But without further ado, do you want to kick it to this week's interview with David Duke Jr.?
Yeah, like we said before, really, really happy and excited for you guys to listen to this interview with David. Super humble guy, really into his faith, has been through a lot, not only in the NBA so far, but going up through his childhood and obviously been able to make it to the NBA from Rhode Island is a rare task. So without further ado, David Duke. Welcome back to the Swider Show. This week we have a very special guest, Rhode Island's own NBA player for the Brooklyn Nets, one of my boys from when we were literally in 6th grade playing AAU against each other, my man David Duke. Welcome on the show, man.
My guy, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for having me. Then this invite is long overdue, I should say.
Hey, we were trying to get the infrastructure together. We were trying to get some good guests on before, so by the time we got David Duke Jr. on, we were seasoned podcasters, man.
It's all good, but you already know you sent the text and I was ready immediately.
We delayed it by a day too. Is that special of an occurrence? We're usually releasing Thursdays. This one's Friday, so yeah, we appreciate it.
Okay. For sure, no doubt.
But yeah, David, first of all, I mean, how you been, bro? How's your offseason been? I know you guys made it to the playoffs. You guys had a big transition with your team and obviously played against the Sixers the first round. Got swept, kind of like us in the Western Conference Finals, obviously. But talk about your offseason so far and where you're at and give us a little update on David Duke's offseason.
Yeah, man, I'm out here working out basically in Miami for the summer. Individual workouts, a little different than last summer where I was with the team for most of the summer. I'll be spending time back and forth in Brooklyn as well, though. Just getting work in and trying to improve my game in all aspects. I'm a restricted free agent this summer, so we'll see what happens there. But right now, man, I'm just super locked in and just working. That's it.
What's the mindset kind of going into a summer like this, right? Because we talked about it before, right? We've always experienced like the college off season. Like last summer, I remember going to Brooklyn and working out, and you were there for 6 weeks before that, just working out the whole entire off season. What's it like this summer where you're kind of like on your own, like you're working on your weaknesses on your own, and obviously you're a very hard worker yourself. So, what's the kind of the difference this off season compared to the off seasons you've had in the past?
Yeah, honestly, bro. Honestly, it doesn't really change. It doesn't really change. The only thing that's changed this summer from last summer is the scenery. Everything like. I even went into the summer and I told the coach too, like, I'm trying to replicate what we did last summer. Because last summer was very like, I literally had to do nothing but show up. I didn't have to plan anything. I just wake up. I was staying in a hotel the whole summer, like the Ace Hotel or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would wake up, the team would have a driver come pick me up, go to the gym for this certain time. I have treatment, have lift, boom, now I'm on court, get my workout done. Right after the court, get into the weight room, get that done at a certain time. After, maybe I have a sports massage or I'm getting in the cold tub or something like that by like 3 something, whatever my days in the, with the team and stuff is done. Go back home, maybe have a meal, whatever, to get off my feet, come back at night, get a bunch of shots, and then kind of it was just like repeat every single day, repeat. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to do anything, like plan anything. And honestly, I loved it, bro. Like that's where I thrive. I feel like for me, where everything's kind of laid out and like I can just come in, put the work in, not have to worry about doing too much extra stuff and like get off my feet and chill. Like that's just kind of my ideal thing. So out here is really like what I've been trying to do as well. I wake up, same thing, get to the gym, I do my workouts, then I head to my strength conditioning facility, get that work in and do some recovery after, and then at nights go back to the gym and get some more shots up. And it's been great. Like I said, the only thing that changed the scenery, which it's nice to wake up to some more sunshine than there is in in Brooklyn, but it's not bad, man. It's been good. It's been good. The mindset, is just always trying to be more. I think it's just trying to get 1% better every single day, every off season, even in college. Not trying to figure everything out in one day, 1 week, 1 month. Like, bro, it's a long summer, you know what I mean? Setting goals for myself and kind of just chipping away at it. Kind of keeping the bigger picture in mind.
For sure, man. I can attest to the Brooklyn Nets, man. I remember going there for a workout, and you saw all the schedule on the TVs. Like, they had all your treatment times, your court time, your weight room time. They even had the amount of shots that you got up at night when you came back. And don't worry, Rhode Island guys are always getting the most shots up, man. David had the most makes for the summer.
You see me at the top of the leaderboards, man.
How will they keep a track of that?
It's so we literally have a chip that goes in our shorts. Okay. And I think it's the Noah machine that like tracks
Noah's Ark,
yeah, the makes and stuff. Every single make, it tracks, bro. Like, it tracks how you miss short, you miss long, left, right,
no
like
way.
all of that. Yeah. So Steve, last year, Steve was a coach, Steve Nash, and he basically, after like the first week, sat us down, was like, "Hey guys, like, basically tell us, like, man, you guys need to get in the gym and on your own, outside of what we're doing, and get some shots up and stuff." Like, kind of telling us what he used to do in his career and things like that. So we kind of just took that challenge, and I think it really helped because it not forced guys, but motivated guys to get in the gym. You see one guy at the top of the leaderboard, climbing up, and he has like 7,000 makes, and you haven't went in the gym, and now you got like 5,000 or 4,000. You're like, damn, he's 3,000 shots ahead of me. Like, I got to get in some more. So it kind of just motivated guys to do a little more, which was good.
No, for sure, man. I remember seeing your name on the top of the list, and there's a sense of pride for me. I mean, we were talking after, and I mean, that's one thing that you've always been known for is your work ethic. I mean, I think Coach Cooley called you the hardest worker that he's ever been around. A lot of different coaches have complimented you on that. What's kind of the ideology behind that? Is it I'm from Rhode Island, I got a big chip on my shoulder? Is it like you just love the game, love the craft, or is it just all the above?
Bro, it's just, for me, I just want to be the best, bro. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I can't break it down and make it sound cooler than that, but like, it all just comes down to, like, I just want to be the best. And I've never thought of like where I'm at or whatever situation I'm in, like, to define how good I know I can be or how good I know I am. I just control what I can control, but like, all in all, the reason I started playing this game is because I love it, right? And like, I still do. And as hard as I work, I love, the hard work, because I enjoy seeing the process of myself getting better and stuff. But the motivation, bro, just comes from me knowing what I want for myself, knowing what I can get out of this game, like taking care of myself, my family, my kids, future kids, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what I'm trying to get to. And I know like what it takes being around guys who are some of the greatest players to ever play, right? And seeing what they do. And for me, it's like, bro, I want to be there. I want to, be able to say like, I attempted to master something and I done it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still a long way from doing that, but I think just the process of getting there is what I enjoy.
For sure, man. We were kind of talking about it, not me, because I'm not part of this conversation, but you and Cole were talking a little bit about the two-way deal and like kind of like the ups and downs of it. And you go up and you guys were bonding over the days where you play in a G League game and then you're active on the NBA roster the same night. But do you feel like that mindset and just like the faith and love for the game has been able to kind of like buoy you in points where it's like, damn, like I'm still in the G. I'm averaging 22 a game for Long Island. I feel like I should be up there, but you're kind of like keeping this faith because you actually do have this like genuine love for basketball.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's like the G is a grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a grind. Everybody who's there playing is trying to, obviously feed their family, feed themselves, but I think guys aspire to be at that other level, like the NBA, where you're competing at the highest level. At least for me and like the other young guys across the G. There's some guys who's been in the G League for like 10 years. You know what I mean? But that's a different story. But like the guys who are coming in, like freshly coming in and really trying to make something out of this, like it's a grind. And sometimes, especially when you feel like you are talented enough to play there, like it can kind of get to you in certain times. But for me, at least something that helped me was like, I know this is going to get me better, right? Like I can say, okay, like I don't want to be here, bro. Like this is so unnecessary. But no, like I know I needed to be there because I was able to show what I'm working on. I was able to show what I can do. I have a much bigger role, much bigger than I would have had with Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So like I wouldn't be able to show as much. You know what I'm saying? So for me being there, it was like, okay, like this guy can do this, he can do that, he can do that. And don't get me wrong, bro, like G League has good players. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
guys who have a bunch of NBA experience, professional experience, so it's like if you can succeed at that level, like you're not far off, like you can play in the NBA. It's just like there's so many different factors that go into maybe why you're not playing. Maybe the roster structure, maybe the timing of that you came into the team, it's just like it was hard for you to kind of fit your way into that role, like they're paying these guys like so much money, like they're investing so much into them. They're gonna have to try to like, see how they can work before the guy that they're not paying as much, That's just the reality of it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
But there's so many different factors, you know what I mean? And you can't let anything like that, like just because they say, oh, you're going to be assigned to the G League this week or this game, like get to you. You know what I mean? It's just like you get a chance to play basketball and prove to yourself, okay, like they've sent me here, I'm going to show you why I should be sent back. And for me, like every game, that's what I was like, bro, I'm going to show why like I belong in the league. So I thought it was a good year, though.
For sure, bro. I mean, I can attest to that too. Like I always say, like the G League might not have the size, but like it's like everyone's in the G League for a reason, right? It's never because like the talent's not there. It's like the size, maybe the shooting ability, the defense, like. But everyone has an NBA skill who's in the G League, so I can relate to that a lot, man. I play a lot of great players in the G League this year who've had 4 or 5 years of NBA experience, who just aren't in the league for certain reasons. So. But let's take it back. Let's take it back to freshman year of high school. David Duke, who was sitting on the bench at Classical High School, watching Keelan Ives, our boy, light it up. But take it back to those days when maybe you weren't even playing on varsity, where some people argued, not me, that you were a better soccer player at the time. But bring it back to freshman year in high school, and what was that like at that time? Did you see yourself making it to the league? Do you see yourself making a high major basketball, or were you just like, screw it, I'm just here to play and whatever happens happens?
For me, I won't jump to say, like, I would say I wanted to make it to the league. Every kid that's a basketball player,
100%.
wants to make it to the league, but it's like to make it to the league, bro, they say, oh, only 1% of players, bro, is less than 1%. Like 1%, I think 1% of basketball players play college basketball or like Division I college basketball, right? So it's even smaller than that plays.
It's the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, bro. So it's like for me, like, yeah, I was dreaming, like, yeah, I wanted to play in the NBA, I wanted to play professionally, but it was just like, I didn't feel like I believed any harder than anybody else. I was just like, bro, like, I'm going after it, and we're just going to see how it goes. But like you said, at the time, like at freshman year, bro, I was playing soccer heavy. Like, I was playing for like a club team. Like, we were traveling all over, but that's kind of
you come from a soccer family, right?
Yeah, so my dad played soccer and basketball. Both my parents are Liberian, so like they're born in West Africa, came here. Like that was what they played growing up. My dad played basketball too, though. He actually played in college when he came here in New York. He played at City College of New York.
Oh wow!
And then after like a couple of years, I think he only played for 2 years, and then after he just focused on his degree. But yeah, so like growing up, I was always sports. I didn't really play video games like that. Like I wasn't a kid
Yeah.
that was inside. I was always outside on the court, at the park, whatever it was. Um, but yeah, freshman year, like I had just kind of slowed down with soccer because basically like what the situation was, I wouldn't have really been able to be fully invested into basketball or even with school sports. Like I would have to been, really invested with the soccer, playing for the club team. But after that, I kind of scrapped the club team. I was playing for my school basketball. I played soccer freshman year, actually, for classical as well. And then from there, like sophomore year, I came back. I just grew. Like there was nothing really that
Crazy.
changed. Yeah, like freshman year, I was playing JV, and I was like 5'9", maybe, or like I don't even know, 5 something. And playing JV, I didn't even touch a varsity court like until the JV season was over, and then I would dress up, but I would not play at all.
Yeah.
So then sophomore year comes around, and I come back taller. I was like 6'1", I think. I came back 6'1" sophomore year, and that's when I started to like become more athletic. Grow into my body. And then just kind of just figure myself out. I would show flashes here and there, but still very raw, like skill wise and stuff. And then I just honestly just started to progress. I changed AAU teams. I went to Mass Rivals, and I think going there, like they put me to work, like showed me how to really work hard. I thought I really worked hard, but it always like somebody working harder than you, right? So then I started to develop more and more. And bro, it's like that's just kind of how high school went. Junior year, I got better, and then you guys, what happened after. Like we just kind of did that same thing together. Like you got better, I got better, and then we just kind of saw our careers take off after that.
So after junior year of high school at classical, you win the Division I state. You win the Division I state championship. You bring that state championship home to classical, and then after that, you decide to go to Cushing Academy. What went into that decision? Because at that time, you were still getting Division I offers even when you were at classical. So what kind of went into that decision, and what made you choose Cushing over St. Andrews?
Yeah, so I I think junior year at classical, we won the state championship. What's funny is sophomore year, I was thinking about going to a prep school. But I just in my heart, I just knew it wasn't the right time. Like literally my parents sat me down. I remember I was in their room, and they had like the application or whatever for, I forget what school it was, maybe Tabor Academy or something like that.
Oh,
And they
wow.
were like, they were like, you want to go, or like, do you want to do another year at classical? And I was just sitting like, man, like part of me was like, man, I don't want to leave my friends at classical. A part of me was like, yo, like that would be lit. Everybody wants to go prep, like, But I really like genuinely knew like I wasn't ready yet. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not like in a position where I really killed public school. Like I had a great sophomore year, but I didn't like really kill yet. So I was like, let me just do one more year and then go. So junior year, once we won the championship, I got, I think maybe 2 or 3 offers from that. I was class of 2017. I reclassed because another school at the time was like saying, oh, we'll offer you, but if you reclass. And that was kind of like the big thing with who I was talking to, my AAU coach and stuff like that, just thinking about like my career and stuff. So we made that decision, went to Cushing over St. Andrews. We had some ties over there to Cushing. So went there, and it was a great decision, bro. I was there with a couple of my AU teammates. My
Won the
roommate,
championship.
yeah, my roommate was Visa Beatty, who was at Virginia Tech, stuff like that. He was like somebody who really like helped me see how good I could be, but also made sure like I was always working hard, bro. Like that dude is the hardest working person I've ever met, like even till this day.
Wow.
He wake me up at like 6 a.m., like go over to my bunk, like wake me up, and he's like, yo, we got to go run the hills. Like, I'm like, bro, like we just had a long ass day yesterday, and now you want to wake me up and like go run hills again. Like, and I think I played soccer my first year there too. So like I was just deep. I was doing both in the fall because basketball, we started playing pickup in the fall and
Yeah.
stuff. But all in all, like it really got me working hard, and when I went there, bro, like I think my career took off, like my high school career, and I got way more offers and kind of just grew into the player that I wanted to be.
For sure, man.
Just
And after, go ahead, Patty.
No, I was just gonna say, just real quick, I want to stay on the soccer point for a second because it's hilarious you ended up playing for Steve Nash because I think he's probably the most famous, like, drew the comparison between basketball and soccer. So do you feel like there was qualities of it that helped you on the basketball court?
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Like I feel like my footwork, just when you're doing basketball moves, like you've got to have some type of footwork, and I feel like for playing soccer, that's all obviously all that it is. So I think that helped me. I think like my conditioning, like my run, like my speed. I think all of that kind of just went into helping me with basketball. Right. It's funny, me and Steve like talked about that too when I was there. How he used to play soccer and all of that. Like his family's obviously it was pretty big into soccer as well. But yeah, we would always like chop it up about that as well.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So, David, obviously after your junior year, you get a ton of offers. You get Kansas, Villanova, Indiana, Florida, Providence, Virginia Tech, and probably 20 more. But you end up narrowing your top 5 to Villanova, Indiana, Florida, Providence, and Virginia Tech. And then you ultimately decided to go to Providence. What was kind of the decision to come home and play for the Friars and live that dream?
I think for me, the decision really fell down to where I felt I was genuinely wanted, and where I just felt like I could really like do what I wanted to do. You know, like I wanted to play at the highest level of college basketball. I wanted to be in a position where I got an opportunity to play, and that I would be able to like play through mistakes and you know, just eventually strive for the league. But it wasn't like a real reality yet. I don't know. I feel like it was just like I said, I was genuinely wanted there, and it's the hometown city. Like I always said too, like when people would ask, like I have 2 little brothers, and for them to be able to like come to every single home game and watch me play, like yeah. I feel like that was just inspirational for them. My family, like kids around the city, all my friends that you know I grew up playing with and stuff, like to be able to go to the game, like this kid, we really played with him at the rec centers, and now he's playing at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and you know, like a different feeling for me. And yeah, man, I would make the same decision 100 times again because I feel like that was, you know, a great decision. You know, it worked out well for me, and yeah, I love Providence.
Did you feel any like added pressure coming in that freshman year? Because obviously, like you're saying, you're a complete like hometown hero. The fan base goes nuts when you commit, and then it's like you know everybody in the stands, everyone knows you. So did you feel any pressure coming into that as like an 18, 19-year-old kid?
I mean, pressure like at that time, yes, 1,000%, bro. Like it was kind of just more than any pressure that anybody else had put on me. And it was kind of like I had this perception of what people thought of me and what they were expecting of me that I tried to make myself go out and do. And like it kind of got to a point where it wasn't healthy at one point. Like I was literally driving myself crazy because I wasn't performing to the level that I feel like was expected of me. Now, who expected this of me? I don't know. I just put this on myself. Yeah. Like they're expecting me to go out here and drop 40. But it's like, bro, you're a freshman, like, and you know, it's kind of hard to realize that because in the moment, bro, you have a bad game. Don't go on social media. You're just gonna feel even worse about the game that you just had, you know? So figure out like how to take that pressure off myself, realize like, bro, you're playing a game, you know, regardless of what they do. Like there was so much, even on my Providence visit, like the banners and toilet paper with my sticker on it, like just crazy stuff, bro. I'm just like, I've never had this level of like love shown to me, and thing and like somebody saying we want you like that bad, you know. So it was just like a shock for me, but I feel like I adjusted to it. I had to go through some, hard times there, but I think all in all, like figuring that stuff out, like was a blessing for me in disguise because like overall, like I came out such a better player, and aside from being a better player, like a better person,
Mhm.
and like just a more wise person. And yeah, I mean, I feel like now going through what I went through, I think being able to, give back and help college kids going through their experience and stuff like that. Like I did the Big East fundamentals thing, the player panel, like talking to them about coming in and stuff like that. I think that's something that I really like. I really enjoy and really want to do because I feel like I have a unique journey as you do as well, Cole. You can speak on that as well. So
Yeah, not for sure, bro. And like one thing I'll say about David is that he always goes back to Providence and gives back and has community days. And that's one thing that's so impressive is that like we're from the smallest state in the country and you could easily leave, go to Brooklyn and never come back. But that's one thing I always respect about David, and he never forgets where he comes from. So I really respect that, bro.
oh, for sure, man. For sure. Hometown love, man. They showed me the most love like coming up, and I think like not enough. Not that is not enough, but like people really don't know too much about Rhode Island. You know what I mean? So it's just like any chance, like yeah, I'm like, man, you gotta tell my teammates like, yo, you gotta come to Rhode Island sometime, like, or tell them about what we got and stuff like that. They always be joking like, where is Rhode Island? But yeah, man, I gotta do my part to try to put us on.
100%. But obviously, you have a great career at Providence. You 3 years and then decided to declare for the NBA draft. Talk about that decision a little bit because obviously you could have went back for your senior year. You didn't know at the time, but NIL was kind of starting that year. So what was that kind of decision like? And you going back? You going back to Providence and telling them that you're going to go to the draft?
So after my what was it, sophomore year, we actually made the tournament, but the tournament never happened. COVID. And I started, like I had a solid season sophomore year. Like my 3-point percentage like doubled. Like I had like a big jump. But honestly, I knew nothing really about like the draft process and stuff like that. Like people would ask like, "Oh, are you declaring after my sophomore season?" I'm like, no, like I don't even. Why would I do that? Like I feel like I'm not talked about on the ESPN. Like I just didn't really know too much about anything. So that summer, COVID happened. I found my way into gym, like made sure I was super hard, and I was actually got the opportunity to like be in the gym with other pros and like guys who are in the league and like compete against them, and that's where I kind of feel like I got my confidence. Like, yo, like I could really do this thing if I really put my mind to it and try. So coming back that junior year after spending the summer really like working out, battling, picking the minds of like other pros and stuff, like I feel like my game, my confidence, like my overall just everything was better than sophomore year. And I was thinking like I didn't think like after my junior year I would declare. I just thought that at some point, like whether it's after this year or next year, like I'm just gonna try to go and declare and see how it goes. So going into my junior year, like I started off hot, man, like hot. I feel like I was averaging 27 and 6 or something, and then I
Alumni Hall.
Yeah, bro, we playing at Alumni Hall. We couldn't even play in the dunk in front of the fans. It was crazy. But then we hit conference play, and I kind of took like a little dip, and I feel like I still had a good season. I feel like I ended averaging like 17 or whatever, but it was just a little dip, and we weren't very good. Our team didn't have the best record. We didn't make the tournament, so you don't make the tournament. It's just like, man, like I felt like kind of let the team down as a leader. I wasn't really sure if I wasn't really thinking about what I would do yet. I was just kind of hung up on, man, like, we didn't make the tournament. Like, that just sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I want to run it back. I want to have another chance to do it. But then kind of taking a step back and looking over my career and, you know, seeing what was going on. And obviously you hear this and that from scouts and whatever. Sat down with my dad and we talked about it. Was like, you know, we just felt like it would be smart to, you know, declare. Didn't know yet if I was going to keep my name in. But after, you know, meeting with agents at the time, you know, picking who I would go with to declare with and stuff, talking with them, you know, we just kind of made that decision like, yeah, we're going to be all in. And yeah, from there, I mean, we went back and told Ed Cooley, and, you know, he was with it. You know, he loves me. He said, whatever you're doing, I support you. I love you. Like, you know, we want you here, but, you know, we also feel like you're an NBA player, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, then that was really how it went. There was no bad blood, no arguing, anything like that. It was, you know, they were happy for me, and whatever I decided to do, like, for my future, they were going to support me. And it's just been all up.
So moving on to draft night, a lot of people don't know this, but, I mean, Jordan Knott, he's assistant coach for Lakers now. He's assistant coach for Brooklyn last year. He talks to me all the time about you had the opportunity to be drafted at 44, 42.
Yeah, it's late second round, yeah.
One of those picks, and he talks about how you declined to get drafted so you could sign the Exhibit 10. Talk about that decision, because to the normal person, that sounds crazy. It's like you could have been drafted, your dream your whole entire life's been to be drafted, and then you turn that down to sign a training camp contract, not even a two-way contract, and really just bet on yourself. Talk about that decision, and obviously you end up signing with Brooklyn after the draft.
Yeah, man. So draft night comes, I legit have no clue what's gonna happen. Like, no,
ranging from first round to
bro, like late first round to undrafted. Like, that's where I'm thinking, like, I have no idea. You know what I mean? And I had some great workouts. Coincidentally, Brooklyn was my best workout.
Of course.
And I just was like, whatever happens, it happens. Like, God got me, you know, like, I'm gonna just roll with whatever happens, you know what I mean? So anyways, draft night is going on. I'm around my friends and family. I'm hearing the picks go down. Literally every team, bro, that I see that I had a good workout with, I'm like, yo, what if, like, my agent calls you right now? He doesn't call me. Damn, like, I don't know what's happening.
And that pressure too, because I had all my family and friends over my house too. Like that's pressure, bro.
Yeah, like, everybody's, you know, they're having a good time, eating, whatever, listening to music. And, like, I'm over there, like, sweating, and my palms are so sweaty, bro. I'm trying to keep it together. Like, I'm just
you had that fit on.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to, you know, put on a poker face, like, not make any reactions or anything like that. And as the night goes on, like, you can just see, you know, people just sitting around, just waiting and stuff. And me, I'm just like, man, I don't even know what's going on. Like, not that I had an expectation, you know what I'm saying, to be drafted, but it was just like I didn't know, like, I was just gonna completely go undrafted, you know what I mean? But anyways, it gets to the pick, and finally my agent calls me. He's like, yo, like, Brooklyn wants to draft you, but if I would have been drafted, I think it was like to get drafted and be a G League stash, and then like, I think maybe for a year or whatever, and then after, like, I would have a chance to be on the roster, something like that. And it was like, but if you go undrafted, you just sign an Exhibit 10 deal, go to training camp, and, you know, if they give you a two-way, they do. If not, then, you know, you'd probably be like on the G League or something like that. So I'm like, man, I do not care about hearing my name called. I told my agent that. I said, bro, I do not care about hearing my name called. He's like, whatever gives me the best opportunity, whatever gives me a shot at being on the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. So I didn't, because how he had put it to me, I didn't really understand. Like, I was like, but wait, why, if I get drafted, I wouldn't be able to be on Brooklyn, but if I go undrafted, I have it. Like it doesn't make sense at the time. I understand now.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make
Yeah,
any
it
sense.
doesn't. I don't get that at all.
But you know, like there's a whole bunch of things that go on with like the draft, especially second round, like depending on the pick. But yeah, so I was like, you know what, like you're saying, like, I was like, so you're saying if I go undrafted, I can have a shot at being on the roster. He's like, yes. I was like, let me go undrafted.
Yeah,
like, I don't care. Like,
what are we even talking about?
Yeah, I was like, let me go undrafted. Like, I really do not care. Yeah, like I won't be able to say that I got drafted, but like that's an ego thing. Like my ego is not that big for me to be like, no, like I want to get drafted. No, bro, like it's cool. So, anyways, like the draft, I already knew by that time though, like 40 something that they were wanting me to be on an exhibit 10. So after, I finalized that with my agent, this and that. Yeah, then I told everybody like I was gonna be signing a training camp deal with the Brooklyn Nets, and that was it. And then went to Brooklyn like 2 days later.
Yep.
Practiced for like a couple days with the summer league team and went out to summer league, and that was like the most nerve-wracking, bro, like 2 week stretch of my life. Like I was in every summer league game, bro, just like, man, I don't need, like, bro, do they want me? Like, do they want to give me a two-way? I didn't know like what was going on. And yeah, and then later on, I think not till like maybe October, because we played a couple preseason games before I even signed my two-way. I was still on the Exhibit 10 deal. I think by like almost the last preseason game, that's when I signed a two-way. And it was just like a weight lifted off my shoulders, bro.
It's crazy because just seeing you go through that process, I had no knowledge of the whole entire NBA thing. And at that time, I had no really NBA interest on my end, right? I just left Villanova, and seeing you go through that process, it's like, yo, this is great. He's getting all these workouts. He signed a training camp deal. And then I see you with KD and Kyrie in training camp. I'm like, oh, everything must be good. Little do I know that Exhibit 10 is nothing, bro.
Bro, it's nothing. Nothing, bro. And it's not nothing. It's like you have a contract to be on an NBA team, which, is still a blessing, but it's like exactly like what I wanted to get to, it's like such a small step. And yeah, bro, it's just from the outside looking in, like if you don't really know, it's just like, oh yeah, cool, like he's on the Brooklyn Nets, but it's like, nah, bro, like I'm not yet.
Like I'm fighting, bro.
Yeah, it was
nice.
It was a crazy process, man, stressful, but Jo, man, like I love that dude. He from the jump in training camp, I mean summer league training camp, you could say, like the practices and stuff when we got to Vegas, like he always spoke highly of me, like always kind of put that confidence in me to go out there and be a dog, like especially on defense. And I think that's where I kind of found my way to get that two-way and stuff like that. But yeah, I love Jo, man.
What was the mindset for you specifically going into training camp? Because you're talking about how it's like nothing's necessarily guaranteed for anyone in your position on any team. That would be one thing, but you're going into the Brooklyn Nets, who are, I don't know, up there. That team is like up there with one of the more scrutinized like ball clubs in the last recent memory. So it's like you got KD, you got Kyrie, you got James Harden, you got Steve Nash in the mix now. What was your mindset where you're like, I got to prove myself, but also like the media attention? We got three of the best players in the league. Like, kind of what was that? How was it adjusting to that for you?
Honestly, I just didn't really have any expectations. Like, I had full confidence in myself, though. Like, I was like, man, I know I can play at the NBA level. It's just finding my way. I know it's going to be hard, but just like how I figured it out at Providence and was able to get this opportunity to even be in the league, just how I figured it out at Classical when I wasn't playing on the bench on varsity. I was on JV, like, and made it to get scholarships, and with scholarship being top whatever in the country, like I figured my way out at every single level that I was at. Like I just felt like it was nothing different and nothing that really scared me. I was, just like, look, man, like this is the cards that I'm dealt, and I'm just gonna, run with it. So going into training camp, Yeah, it's crazy being in the training camp with Kyrie, KD, James Harden, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap,
Yeah.
like Steve Nash, like
Some
bro, these are
names,
all
man.
these are all NBA All Stars, like some of the best players to ever play the game, and all in one team in one gym. And it's like, man, I'm just out here looking around, like, man, this is really a blessing to be here. Like, this is crazy, and I feel like in that moment, like, I didn't really put too much pressure on myself, to be honest. At that point, I was more like I was better than I was in college, right? Like college, I talked about having putting more pressure on myself. Like at that time, I was,
Hmm.
able to kind of step back and realize like what was going on. But yeah, training camp that my rookie year, training camp is sometimes the rookies aren't too involved, especially like
Yeah.
if there's a lot of vets on the team. So I'm over there on the sideline, like kicking it with the other rookies. I think there was like 5 rookies that were on the team. So we were on the sideline, whatever, and then we got our 3-on-3 on the side after the practice. Like we got to get our extra workouts in before and after, like, But it was cool, man. I enjoyed training camp. And then yeah, obviously going into the preseason games, I had a pretty good preseason game as well. Actually versus LA Lakers, funny enough, but yeah, man, that was a year for sure. I mean, that full season in itself was something, man. But I enjoyed it, man. Though I love all those guys. They're all good dudes.
Hey, before we go off the topic of the Brooklyn Nets, can you talk about Kyrie? Obviously, he's one of the most scrutinized players that there is in the game. People say he's not into
Yeah.
basketball. He is into basketball. Talk to me or talk to us about just like who he is as a teammate, who he is as a person, and how different it is being in the locker room with him compared to how he is scrutinized in the media.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you talk to any of his teammates, like you get from them, like Kyrie is the most genuine, like
Yeah.
cool dude, like that is on the team, and it's just kind of weird seeing how the media spins it. But that's just the media, man. Like they're always gonna find something like clickbait if they got somebody that's a target for them that will get them a lot of clicks, a lot of views, and they're gonna use that. And it is what it is. And I just try to be the person that doesn't really feed into that, because as another human being, like I can imagine how it is, being a target of media. Every little thing you do, everything you say, like is just taken and blown way out of proportion, or people hating you and that don't even know you've never met, you literally have never had any face-to-face conversation. So for me, I just was always a type of person like, bro, he's my teammate. This dude
Yeah.
has never crossed me. Like we've actually had some really good conversations. Like I look up to bro. Like he inspires me. I see his work ethic every single day. I see how he treats people. Aside from like, yo, you're my teammate. Yo, you're my coach. Like, no, he really treats everybody like, yo, you're my brother. Like whatever you need, like I got you. Um, he comes in every single day, no matter how many people's in the gym, and says what's up to every single person in the gym. Like
Wow.
daps you up, gives you a hug, like every single person in the gym, like that's just who he is. But yeah, I mean, for me, that's my experience, bro. Like he's great dude.
That's how I felt with Russ, man. Like you be seeing all the scrutiny that Russ would get in the media and people going at his family at games and stuff. And it's like, bro, like this dude Russ is the nicest human being ever. Like he shows up every single day, works hard, does the right things, and it's like every single day he has to wake up to people calling him Westbrook. You know what I mean? And it's just
Right. It's yeah, I can't even imagine, bro. Like it's like imagine like your family's there and they're like saying crazy stuff to you. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah,
it's annoying, and I get it. There's diehard fans. You guys, really love watching basketball. But at the end of the day, like, bro, this dude is a human being. Like, this dude isn't a
exactly.
robot. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't have feelings. That doesn't, like see any of it. Like, you'd be crazy to think like none of those guys see any of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy
It's
how
all
consistent.
local, so I think, like I said, like what was you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say it's crazy how consistent everyone says it about both of those guys. Like the media completely shits on them all the time. It says like I don't know why they have a roster spot. Like right now, Kyrie, like they're talking about where he's gonna sign, and people are like, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, like all these things. It's like, I mean, if he's awesome and his teammates love him, like he's probably gonna sign with the team.
Yeah, he's most talented, one of the most talented players in the NBA.
Yeah.
In NBA history.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. And obviously, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about KD. The special player KD is probably the greatest scorer of all time. Just talk about some experiences with KD. And I mean, I was able to have a conversation with him, and he was like the nicest dude ever, man. Just super pure. Knew who I was, like, and everything like that. So talk about KD a little bit.
Yeah, man, KD's special, bro. I mean, just he walks in the gym, like you see, like he's just blessed with long wingspan, being 6'10", like, you know, being able to move like a guard. It's just like that's something that you can't teach. You can't, like, no matter how hard you try, you can't teach being 6'10", being able to move like that. Like, there's no way. But aside from that, bro, like the skill he has, the attention to detail he has in his workouts is like second to none. And he's another dude, like I was talking about Kyrie, that comes in and works super hard. Like he works super hard as well, you know, and you know he cares about the game, like really does care about the game and loves basketball. Super chill dude, man, like super chill. Doesn't care, like doesn't get into all like, you know, the media and stuff. People like, oh, he's always on Twitter. Yeah, but like he's just chill. Like he's not on Twitter trying to get all like mad followers and like do all this extra stuff. No, like he interacts with fans, like he responds just as somebody like will respond to anybody, you know, and but he's just him, man. Like, and he's just unapologetically him, which is why I love him, bro. Like I feel like he's one of the, obviously he's I think he's the greatest scorer of all time, and you know, he's there for a reason. You know, but yeah, man, I love K. That's my dog, man.
I mean, David, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, we're both from Rhode Island. We both grew up watching the Friars play, and we really saw Ed Cooley build a program with Providence, right? He built a program so good that you wanted to go play for him. What are your takes on the Ed Cooley scenario? Because there's been people from Providence who hate him now, who don't like his decision to go to Georgetown. Why would you go from the top of the Big East to the bottom of the Big East, right? Talk about Coach Cooley's decision and what that kind of meant to you.
I mean, first off, let me just say this. Ed Cooley has been at Providence for, let me see, 12 years.
12 years? 12 years.
If you go back and look at Providence's record and like where they were just, you know, in the Big East, I think the year before he got there, they were like 4-14.
Yeah.
Like, just talk about the top of the Big East and bottom, like they were 4-14, you're at the bottom, you know what I mean? So to be there and come into that program and turn it into what he has, like I would consider it a high major school, you know, got able to get
100%.
top 40 kids, like be a tournament team, a tournament program. Like that's, if you give any college coach that career, like they would be happy with it. If he was the only coach for that 12 years and stop, like he would have a great college coaching career, you know? And it's like, yeah, he went to Georgetown. Yeah, it was interconference. Yeah, like Providence fans don't like Georgetown. That's cool. That's your personal feelings emotionally. But like in the career side of it, like he's going to a school to now it's another chapter in his life, you know, like it's a different market. You know, I think he's got a nicer contract, I think.
Probably, yeah.
So it's like the only thing that people are really mad at is like because he went to, I think more because it's Georgetown, it's another Big East school, which I get.
And he's from Providence, and he's from Providence. That rubs people the wrong way.
But it's like, man, you can't say like you don't like Cooley now all of a sudden because he's going to coach another team. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Why do you not like the dude? You know? it's cool to have some friendly banter, like, yeah, like whatever, this and that. But like, if you really are feeling that way, it's like, come on, man. You know, there's bigger things in life. You know, I hope, I really do hope he does well. Like, I really genuinely hope he does. And I told him that myself. You know, I love him to this day because he gave me an opportunity to come and play for my hometown. I'll forever love him for that. You know, be grateful to him for that. I really hope Kim English does really well over at Providence. I've talked to him as well and told him that myself. And like, you know, both of those dudes, I'm really rooting for their successes. It would be really dope to see both of them if they end up being both really well, really good teams this year or in the future, whatever. Like, that'd be dope to see. But I don't think there's any like animosity or any type of bad feeling about who is going to Georgetown. Like, I feel like, bro, I'm happy for him. You know, it's another chapter in his career that will be written in history. So yeah, I'm hoping he does well.
I mean, at the end of the day, he brought Providence to levels that they never seen before. Obviously, Sweet 16s and obviously producing NBA players. And if he weren't to have done well his first 4 years, they would have fired him anyways. So I think the coaches have the freedom to do as they please, like kind of like the players do now. So, David, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Obviously, I've known you since 6th grade, and for us to be able to kind of be on this journey together, to climb that ladder together, being 2 top 50 players in high school together, being able to go to big time universities and seeing you make it to the league and me kind of follow your footsteps the year after, it's been a pleasure, bro. Obviously, just admire your work ethic, admire the journey you take, admire the faith that you have, and man, I'm excited to keep on climbing this ladder with you.
Man, I appreciate that, bro. Been at it for a minute. It's still just scratching the surface, another chapter, you know, entering the league. And yeah, man, I'm rooting for you, bro. Wherever you're at, I'm rooting for you, man. You already know it. If you need anything, just let me know. I'm always a text call away. Anything I can do for you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we locked in. And Paddy, I appreciate you as well. You know, having me on this
of course,
podcast.
Bill. Thank you for taking the time. That was awesome.
More in the future. So definitely, bro.
Man. Just 2 kids from Rhode Island, man, which is crazy.
The Rhode Island boys. Put it on the map.
Hey, I was telling your boy on the podcast, there's only been around like 5,000 players that ever touched the league. And me and you, 2 kids from Rhode Island to make it is wild, bro.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think like 5,000 people in the history of like
a basketball.
The NBA. Yeah. That's crazy. Bro, there's 5,000 people in this building that I'm staying. Yeah, like, you know, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy, like, when you kind of think about and like put it in that perspective, right? You kind of realize and see how blessed you are and like kind of just how things lined up. Because it's like, you know, we know so many guys that probably could play in the league that are talented enough to play in the league that just didn't for whatever reason, you know, like God just wanted us in the league and it just worked out. So we just, you know, you have a great work ethic. You know, I try to have a great work ethic because, you know, I feel like this opportunity doesn't really come too often to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I respect about you as well. You know, you really care and like you don't really take it for granted and you're about your business. And anybody who's like about their business, whatever they do, basketball, sports, art, entertainment, whatever it is, like if you're about your business, like I respect it just because, you know, it's better than just tricking it off.
And there's usually a funny way of making it. Those people usually have a funny way of just making it to where they want to be. So, man, David, it was a pleasure as always, bro. I'll talk to you soon, man. And that's a wrap, man. Another episode of the Swider Show complete.
Sir, appreciate it, bro.